What's up, everybody? You're tuned into the Cris Style
Mal.
Podcast, episode 240, Big Energy Monday. Hope everybody's having a good day, whatever you're doing. You're at home, you're at work. We appreciate y'all tapping into the live stream. If you're listening on the playback, we appreciate you too, man. Leave a comment in the comment section. Got a lot of things to speak on. We got some free agency news, NFL free agency news. We got some NBA news that just came up. Also got some boxing news. We're also going to talk about our NCAA men's and women's basketball brackets that we did. Show who we picked to win each bracket. Also, we're gonna do our first NFL mock draft. So, first round only. First round only. So, yeah, man. And we got some other topics to talk about too. Some things. So, before we get into all that, Mar, how you feeling, sir?
Feeling good, man. Beautiful day out here in Vegas. So I'm feeling good, man. Allergies are gone. Don't sound like I have a congestion, so feel good. How you feeling?
I'm doing all right, man. My allergies was kicking my ass last night, but
Yeah.
I'm good now. I'm good now. So, but, hey, ready to get into these topics.
Nah, yeah, let's do it.
All right, man. Let's talk some free agency news. My Kansas City Chiefs have traded for Justin Fields. We all know that Patrick Mahomes is coming back from a leg injury, ACL tear that he suffered in December, and it was always talk of who will come in, who the Chiefs potentially bring in to be the backup quarterback and potentially have to start some games if Patrick Mahomes is not able to come back in the beginning of the season. And we all know that the litter right now is slim pickings. There was a couple of reports saying that Russell Wilson was on the radar, but I just think that the Chiefs overall just felt like they were with the side of youth. And they traded for Justin Fields. Look, we all know Justin Fields is the best thrower of the football, but I don't mind the move, especially with Eric Bieniemy back, with DeMarco Murray there, with Andy Reid's track history with running quarterback. I think they'll dust off that Alex Smith playbook, and if he has to play some games with the addition of Kenneth Walker, I think that they're going to utilize his legs, the running game, and just make him throw like in the middle of the field. That West Coast offense. You know how Andy loves that West Coast offense, and if he has to come in, I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? If he has to play 3-4 games, how long Patrick Mahomes may be out for the beginning of the season. I'm not mad at that. I think they're going to lean more into the running game and try to develop this dude. And hell, if he plays well, then hell, maybe you can get something for him in the trade deadline or maybe in the off season. But if not, he's still a good backup to have. And even when Patrick comes back, you still got some packages you can use for him, especially on QB sneaks and goal line situations. So I'm not mad at it. It was a 6th round pick in 2027. He only counts 3 million against the books, I think. So I'm not mad at the pickup. We needed a backup quarterback, so I'm cool with it.
Out of all the options, I know you say you're cool with it, but I've heard some other names that were kind of linked to your team. Is this the guy that, out of all of them that you potentially could have had, is this the guy that you really wanted as your backup?
I'm not gonna sit here and say I wanted him. I wasn't expecting the Chiefs to go get him. Like I thought they was gonna sound like a Russell Wilson and just whatever. Or I was hoping not to Joe Flacco. I don't want a Flacco, but right now it's just slim pickings. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want Anthony Richardson. I think he's way worse than Justin Fields. So
Russell Wilson. I heard Russell Wilson's name.
That's what I'm saying. I heard Russell. I said Russell Wilson, but maybe Jameis Winston if they was willing to let him go. But I don't think that locker room was to let him go. I think they want to keep him in there with Jackson Dart. So there's really just slim pickings out there right now. So I'm not mad at Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you can bring him in. If he has to start, I trust Andy Reid and those guys to build a system around him that he could, floor. I'm not expecting Justin Fields to light up the world. I don't expect him. If he has to start, I expect him to lean into Kenneth Walker in this run game and use that play action pass to hope open things up in the middle of the field for Justin Fields. So if he has to play, if he can keep us above 500, I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? And it depends on if Patrick can't come back or how many games he misses. So I'm not mad at the move.
Nah, like I think there's more to the play than just him actually just being a potential starter for the beginning of the year. I think they're gonna play it safe with Patrick. I've been a big proponent that they shouldn't rush. I get it that all eyes are on the system, especially with Travis Kelce coming back. You guys get Eric Bieniemy. I think you guys are still all in to win a championship. But I think you guys can be okay with holding him the first 4 weeks of the season. You know what I mean? I think you could be okay. Obviously, there are some holes that you guys got to resolve and get that defense back to par where it can be kind of like. You just need this defense to kind of hold its own for the first month of the season if you guys are going to go that route of potentially just giving Patrick Mahomes more time to ramp up to get ready to be him. And I think that will be the most important play. But even when Patrick Mahomes comes back, I could see a situation where Justin Fields can be involved in this offense because me personally, you want to kind of alleviate Patrick Mahomes having to use his legs the majority of the time.
Yeah.
There could be packages where you could have Justin Fields and Patrick Mahomes on the field where he can be in those running plays. Hell, I won't be surprised if Justin Fields gets overall turned into like a hybrid receiver in a sense. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised about that. He's still uber athletic. We all know Andy Reid loves his trick plays. There can be so many different situations he can be involved. He can be a back. He can be a slot receiver. He can be an outside receiver. I think there's just so many facets that I think Chiefs fans should be honestly excited out of all the quarterbacks. If you guys were going to go the route with getting a solid backup, I think Justin Fields it's a light out signing to me personally, because I see the bigger play. It's just not about him just starting in the first couple weeks. Potentially it's about more than that. I think it's about alleviating some pressure off of Mahomes' legs, especially with him coming back off of knee surgery. And we all know Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy and the kind of mindset those guys could bounce ideas off with using Justin Fields. As a Raider fan, like, I hate it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be mad. I hate it, but I'm gonna be honest with the situation. I think this is a really good signing because it's just the potential of what you can use with Justin Fields if he's open to it. Now, if he's not open to it, that's a whole different situation. But I would assume where Justin Fields at is in his career. I think he's got to be open to it, especially being on a championship contending Kansas City Chiefs team.
Yeah, and they even reported that there was other teams involved, but his preference was to come to Kansas City. So he picked to come to Kansas City. So I think he already knows what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows that Andy's going to use him in any type of way that he can get used. And, what better way? And at the same time, you could soak up game from Andy Reid. You could soak up game from Eric Bieniemy. You could soak up game from Patrick Mahomes and be in the QB room with him and learn. And, maybe he could, help. Maybe Patrick Mahomes can drop some gems on him to help him. Because the thing about Justin Fields is the processing on the field. It's just a little too slow. You know what I'm saying? So if he could help him get faster and quicker with the processing on the field, maybe he goes somewhere and flourish. We've seen it so far that there are QBs that have gone other places. Their route wasn't the prettiest, but they got to their final destination, and you're Sam Darnold and you're winning the Super Bowl. Or you're, what I'm saying, Baker Mayfield, and you're a starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we'll see what that is. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a slam dunk. It was just surprising. I ain't gonna lie to you. It took me off guard. I wasn't expecting it.
This is a pinnacle moment in Justin Fields' career because I know deep down inside he wants to be a quarterback. I know he wants to be a starting quarterback. I know he wants to be a winning quarterback. But this is the point of his career where he can either have another 10 years added on to his career, or he could be out of this league within the next 2. Like, I think this is the biggest moment of his career. And yes, soak up knowledge from Patrick Mahomes, soak up knowledge from Andy Reid and everybody on that offensive staff to try to be the best quarterback you can be. But also be open to the idea, if you want to continue to play football, maybe quarterback isn't the route you got to go. You got to be a hybrid kind of player. You got to be everything involved, whether it's special teams, whether it's specialized plays, whether it's you converting into another position. I'm not saying that's what he wants to do, but for the longevity of his career, it might be something that he has to be open to.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, man, I can't wait for Andy Reid to dial up Justin Fields, Kenneth Walker, and Khyiris Tongas, our defensive tackle, who play a little fullback for the Patriots too. Dial that up in the end zone. So it's
a lot of speed when you add Justin Fields and Xavier Worthy on the same field, man. That could be explosiveness right there. You know what I
mean? It could be that. I'm sure Andy's in the lab right now trying to cook some stuff up with that.
Nah, for sure.
In other news, Darius Slay just announced that he is retired. Look, Darius Slay was one of the better corners in his prime.
Mhm.
He was one of the top. You could say he was a top 5 corner when he was in his prime, especially when he was with Detroit. A little bit when he was with the Eagles. He got to a Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. But towards the end, he just got a little older. But shout out to Darius Slay, man. He had a really good career as one of the top corners. I don't know if you would consider him a Hall of Famer, but really, really good player that had some really good years. And like I said, he was always considered one of the top corners in the league. So, whatever he has in his future, whether it be media or just, doing something else, man, I wish him the best.
Nah, same, man. He was one of the cornerstones to those Philadelphia Eagles teams and stuff like that, man. He was labeled as one of the top corners in the league. As far as him being a Hall of Famer, I don't know. That's a conversation that I think will be had here in the next couple of years. But solid career, solid long career, life-changing money for him and his family. So no matter what happens, I'm sure he has other things lined up with his profession. Maybe he gets involved in media. Maybe he could be one of those guys. I don't know if he has a podcast currently or anything like that. I'm not aware of his outside.
I think he did.
Yeah. I don't know I'm not aware of anything he's doing on off the field, but I'm sure he has some things lined up. And congratulations to him to a solid career, man, and wish him all the best in his future endeavors for sure.
Yeah, Davante Adams. There are rumors that the Rams are trying to work their way to try to get A.J. Brown. Yeah. And with that, trying to get A.J. Brown, they're talking about putting Davante Adams on the trading block because I kind of understand that because if you're trading for A.J. Brown, like him and Davante are kind of
not enough balls. Yeah, same. It's not enough balls. Yeah,
but they're the same player to me.
They
well, why would you do that? So, Davante Adams is on the trading block. Do you think there will be a market for Davante Adams? Or would you like a reunion with Davante Adams on your radar?
I'll answer that latter question right now. Hell no, I'm good. I'm good on the Davante Adams situation. I know he's a great player, but the way he left the Raiders organization and just the amount of stuff he was kind of talking about when post trade, it left a lot of Raider fans with a bad taste. You know what I mean? I think he's got to be one of the most disliked players, even though we all know he's an all-time great. He's a future Hall of Famer. It's just the way he went about it was just wrong. I get it. There are certain situations that you may have been pissed off about, but you asked to come here, you asked to play with Derek Carr. No one forced your hand. You forced it yourself. So I'll say that. But your first part of the question, absolutely, you definitely have a trade market. Everybody's claiming for a receiver. Patriots, they want a receiver. Packers, they could be open to a receiver. Carolina Panthers, you know what I mean? Who else? Maybe the Commanders, in that situation, maybe the New York Giants, if they want to add some depth to that. Buffalo Bills, the Chargers, if he wants to stay in LA. I think there's a slew of teams that would be asking for his services, and he'll be a lot cheaper than trying to go get AJ Brown or if the situations happen with the Cincinnati Bengals and maybe a T Higgins or something like that. I could see him playing with the Pigeons as well. I could see that situation too. They need all the help they can get. So I think Davante Adams still has some years left. I expect him to play football for another 3 years. I think he's like on that same path as like Mike Evans and stuff like that. I don't see him retiring anytime soon. But
a Raven. I can see him as a Raven.
Yeah. I can see him as one of them ugly ass. I ain't gonna talk about it. But
you had somebody talking trash about you on YouTube, boy.
Oh yeah. I don't care.
Post that clip.
Oh yeah. I'll look at
it. They looped me into it too. They said 2 guys. You ain't got no comments in the comment section. Y'all some losers.
Hey man, well shit. You
disagree with you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, look, I already said what I said about the Baltimore Ravens and how I think bad they look. But again, man, I think still playing with Lamar Jackson is, I still think they need wide receiver help. I know everybody kind of, comments on the situation and how much more Lamar Jackson needs. I'm like, I think this year he has a lot of excuses. Let's be honest. Like, he lost his starting center. He lost one of his better tight ends. It's not Mark Andrews. It was Isaiah Likely, and they refused to feature him. You lost, some people on that defensive side. You lost your coach that you've been with for 16, 17 plus years. You got a new head coach and Jesse Minter. We don't know what he's capable of. I don't know if anybody has him as the next Ben Johnson or him being like a Mike Vrabel. No one's said anything like that. I think he's a great young-minded, defensive-minded guy, but we don't know what he's going to be like as a head coach. He could turn out to be what's my man from the Patriots? What's his name? He was our old head coach. What's his name?
Oh,
Josh McDaniels. Yeah, that's how bad he was. I totally forgot his name. But yeah, Josh McDaniels. You know what I mean? Or he can be like, the next Sean McVay. I don't know. Like, I know that's like kind of like a wide spectrum between those two. But I'm sure he's probably somewhere in the middle. But we don't know what that's going to look like. So, and then we also know some of the turmoil that him, Lamar Jackson, and that ownership have. You know what I mean? And Bisaccia and not Bisaccia, but the owner of the Ravens, and some of the comments he made about Lamar showing up and stuff like that, and you got the whole I know he restructured his contract, but again, it is what it is. But Devontae, yeah, he's gonna have a market.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think the trade value would be?
I don't know, maybe like a fourth, maybe a third, but I say like a fourth. He's an older receiver, but he did show a lot though that he still has a lot left in the tank. I know he had that. I think he had like a bad hamstring injury towards the end of the year, so it wasn't like nothing catastrophic. So we know for the most part Devontae Adams is pretty reliable. I know he's had some concussion issues a little bit here and there, but he's still a reliable receiver. Still puts up. He was one of the better fantasy receivers last year. You know what I mean? He was up there. I think he was like top 6. So obviously he's putting up the stats. So yeah, he'll be fine.
Some hamstrings and the motor players is scary though.
It is. But again, with his level of talent and what he can bring to a Buffalo Bills, to the Baltimore Ravens, he'll be the best receiver they've had since God knows how long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that ship is sailed, Mark. I don't think he wants to go anywhere near that.
Nah. And then they just got Michael Pittman, so I don't think that's just like I don't see that.
I can see Pittsburgh going, a receiver this year.
Yeah, I think the top 3 teams. It's Devontae. No, my bad. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying, like, I could see maybe with their first pick or even their second pick, they go receiver. Maybe if Kenyon Sadiq is sitting there, maybe they get him.
Oh, you talking about Pittsburgh?
Mm-hmm. Because that's what you're saying.
I think Kenyon Sadiq might go high. I low-key think the Ravens might get him. You know what I mean? He's available there. You know what I mean? Because they need at this point, they need offensive help at this particular time. But now they potentially could get a center at that pick. If there's a really good one available, I think that could be, because that's something that they need to fix up to.
I don't think there's one worth the first round pick though in this draft.
Yeah, nah. So just take.
But I can see Mekhi Lemon. If Mekhi Lemon drops to them, they definitely taking him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe even Jordan Tyson, because depending on his medicals now, if he has a great pro day, I think he's gonna shoot the roof.
Yeah, we'll see. They have options.
All right, man. Let's get into some NBA news, man.
Yeah, man, we got a couple things going on. First up, man, Shai Gilgeous, man, he had a slow start to yesterday. Minnesota Timberwolves, they had a pretty good first half, but the Oklahoma City Thunder ended up winning 116-103. But the bigger story is he extended his 20-point game streak that he surpassed Will Chamberlain a couple days ago. He's up to 128 games in a row with at least 20 points. So my question to you, sir, is where would you put this feat that Shai Gilgeous had compared to other records in the NBA? How impressed are you with this feat?
And Will Chamberlain has only done it?
Yeah, so he surpassed Will Chamberlain's record of 126 straight games of having at least 20 points. Shai's at 128 currently and still going.
It's a big feat, because if ain't nobody else passed Will, then Will, that's a long time ago. It's in the 60s. So you got to put that feat up there, man, for Shai to, be able to do that. As amount as points as people can score, since the 80, up until that time, you know what I'm saying? And how defenses are not as, strenuous as it was, maybe back then, or even a little bit, up some. But Yeah, I gotta put that up there. That's got to be, the triple. That's like the triple double thing with Russell Westbrook. So,
Yeah.
I got to give him his props for that.
No, absolutely. I think this is one of the, as I said, not a lot of people are able to do this.
Yeah,
This record has been sitting with since Will Chamberlain. We all know how long ago that was. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So shout out to Shea, man. Like, I think he's proven every year how him and Wemby are the best players in the NBA. That's how I
yeah.
feel. And then
Most
it
definitely.
goes on from there. All right,
Yeah,
next up.
you can fly
No,
and Edwards in there.
yeah, no, and where's yeah, no, I'm not gonna disrespect Ant or nothing like that. But yeah, we got to see Ant be able to. We've seen Shea
Yeah.
do it in the playoffs. We got to see Ant, and I think Ant could definitely do it. But we
Mhm.
still got to see it. All right, next up, we'll get into a little bit of college basketball. So obviously, there's a lot of conversations about Darren Peterson. There have been some comments. Obviously, we know the whole situation of him sitting out games. We've had some comments from some top tier college analysts who haven't been as happy to see his kind of like body language with his teammates throughout the Big 12 tournament and stuff like that. So my question to you is how important is it for Darian Peterson this March Madness run for him to change the perception of him about the way he goes about playing basketball? And do you think he can fix this perception in a matter of a couple weeks?
I don't know. I think the perception is already the reality of Darren Peterson because the way the season is going, like there's nothing that you can do that's gonna make the national media change their mind about you because they already look at you as somebody whose mind and heart is not into this game, college game.
Mhm.
You're not there really mentally with your teammates. You took yourself out of various games, scoring like 18 points in the first half, and then say, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
Like that's already the perception on you. Now you're coming in with bad body language with your teammates. That's not going to be a good. You're already trying to shoot up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so it's already, you're already tainted a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's going to drop all the way out of the first round or anything like that, but um I just think the perception of him is already, what it is, and him, changing the way he acts in the 2 weeks. They might even say, "Oh, that's just fake. He's just trying to." The PR got to him, you know what I'm saying, to change his ways. So, and I think it might hurt his draft stock. We're gonna see in June, whenever the draft is, that how people really feel about Darren Peterson, but right now, I think that it is kind of hurting his stock right now because I even saw something the other day where they was talking about it's not AJ Debanza and Darren Peterson is AJ Debanza and I think it was a kid from Houston. So
Fleming, yeah. I think there's a lot of
yeah,
cats. Yeah, Fleming,
yeah,
Caleb
so
Wilson, Cameron Boozer.
yeah, so I think his stock is dropping because a lot of people are going to look at him as his heart, as his part in the game and just the way he looks is like he really does not want to play college basketball. You can tell he really does not want to be there, but he has to do it because that's the pathway to get to the pro game. The only way he probably knows how to do it. I don't think he wants to go overseas and play basketball or nothing like that. So you can tell he really does not want to be there. So, but hey, you have to play this game, and if you're in it, you gotta show some determination and some heart, man. And you gotta be. This is tournament time. You know what I'm saying? This is win or go home. So, if he shows at any time that they are not good, or he's not showing good body language, or he takes himself out the game or anything like that, yeah, that's gonna hurt him a lot.
Yeah, I would say this. Like, I never want to dictate how much a guy loves basketball by body language because we all know everybody goes about it different ways. Some guys are fiery types, some guys are more introverted, some guys are more just they just have a level of calmness about them that just supersedes to what other people are able to do. But I agree with you. I don't think this is it. And even if it is it, like he's already given this perception that he doesn't like playing basketball. I don't even think it's about I don't think people are even worried about him not wanting to be there. It's about, do you even love the game? Because I get it. You may not want to go to college. You may want to be able to go straight to NBA. But if you still love playing basketball, you would still be competitive to the point where you're not going to take yourself out of games. And it's like, if you have an injury, okay, cool. No one's going to fault you at that. Like, you have injuries, stuff happens. You're not able to play. You're not able to play. That's cool. But when it comes to the situation where you're literally in warmups, you look perfectly fine, but you want to get taken out over a stomach bug, it just kind of, and it happened multiple times. I'm not going to sit here and question his hamstring injury or whatever the case may be. I know a lot of people have been doing that. I'm not going to do that. But with certain aspects of it, and also aspects of how he handles himself in certain game situations, him not helping his teammates up, him and look, just disinterested in the game completely, him, hitting the three and then telling his coach he needs to take him out and not come back the whole entire second half of the game where the game was still up for grabs. Like, stuff like that literally shows, like, do you even love this game? So even if I were to draft you, how long would I know you're going to be invested in this? Like, because, okay, yeah, you're a pro now, but you still got to love the game. You still got to love the process. You got to still be able to compete. Can I trust you to be the face? Because where he's going to get picked at, potentially top 5 pick, especially how deep this class is, they're asking you to be the face of their franchise because there are some bad teams out there. And if I'm the president, if I'm the owner, can I literally look myself and look at him and be like, he can be the face to take us over the hump, to go up against an Anthony Edwards, to go up against a Victor Wembanyama, to go up against a Luka Doncic and a Cooper Flag. All those guys we see play, they want it. They want the smoke. They want that championship, and they're willing to go through you. They'll go through you and take your soul to get to that moment. I don't see that in Darian Peterson. I do not. I see that in Caleb Wilson. I see that in Cam Boozer. I see that in Fleming. I definitely see it from that kid in Arkansas. I forgot his name, but that boy's a monster. I see it more in him. Like me personally, Darren Peterson is the #1 overall talent. But as an overall player, I don't even see him as a top 10 pick. I don't know how you can have him as a top 10 pick based on what he has shown you on the court. And I'm sure we're going to talk about it more as the NBA draft comes allowed, but I think this is the biggest moment for him. He needs to show that he loves his playing with his teammates. He needs to show that he has that fire. We all know the talent that he could be. We all know he's going to put up them points, but we need to see the other stuff from him. If he wants to have the opportunity to be a top 5, we're just talking about top 5 pick. I ain't even talking about top 3, top 5, because it's too loaded. Too loaded of a draft for people to have to question whether you love the game or not. And he needs to recognize that. The way he's playing, he's losing money. He's losing money. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. And last but not least, we got some big news today. We woke up to some big news from Shams Charania. He said, this is from him at his Twitter. I'm going to read it. The NBA will hold a vote at the Board of Governors meeting next week. Meetings are March 24th to 25th to explore adding expansion teams exclusively in Las Vegas and Seattle, with the 2 franchises targeted for the 2028-2029 season, which is literally almost around the corner. Sources tell ESPN there is momentum for stakeholders to approve surveying what industry executives project will be bids in the $7 to $10 billion range for each team. The first vote will allow the league to explore purchase processes for Las Vegas and Seattle. There will then be a potential final vote later in the year to finalize transactions to 32 teams. If bids reach necessary thresholds in both voting rounds, 23 out of the 30 governor owners must vote in favor for this. There's also reports that it's looking like this is kind of like a sign, seal, deliver. They just, kind of slowly, bringing out the news that once this vote passed, that it's pretty much going to go through, that they're going to have expansion teams out here in Las Vegas and in Seattle, which has been talked about for the last, 4 or 5 years. Obviously, they will have to push teams over to the West. I think the 2 teams that they have been mentioning is Memphis and Minnesota that would get pushed over to the East and obviously realign some of the things. But hey, man, we're Vegas natives. You know what I mean? We live out here in this great city of Las Vegas, man. What are your kind of vibes, man, with the news of this, of us having a potential team here in the next 2 years?
Not surprised whatsoever. Definitely expected it to happen. It was just, a matter of time when they, got their ducks in a row so they could be able to vote on it. We knew Seattle was the other team. And I'm interested to see how this is going forward. Team name and all that other stuff, where they're going to put the arena at, where they're going to play at and all that good stuff. How that's going to, how it's going to affect Vegas as a whole, as far as, money and taxes and all that good stuff. And it's going to be interesting. So, but we all knew that they was going to bring a basketball team out here. There was no surprise. And, I'm excited for it. You know what I'm saying, I can finally get behind the team again, and maybe I can get my mom's dream of me watching basketball.
I think it will happen. No, I'm super excited. I agree with you. This has been kind of like, the worst kept secret. I know there's been rumors about potentially maybe they won't go the route. They got the European League that they're trying to build up, but I think they've, had some little bumps along the road with that. But overall, man, I'm super excited. I think the 2028, 2029 year is going to be huge. I think that's around the same time I think the baseball team's supposed to be starting or something like that. It seems like this process is going to go by pretty fast. Like, obviously we're going to get the vote next week. I'm assuming that, I think the approval, I would assume that will happen before the next league year, before October, that we will get the approval. And then after that, it's kind of like ball rolling. I'm sure right now we have people that are looking at plots. We're looking at situations because, I'm sure the NBA is going to want to, I'm sure they probably already have this already all figured out because it's been so long coming. I'm sure the NBA is going to want to see the land, the place where you want to put this arena, where these teams are going to play. Obviously, we kind of know with the whole Seattle situation, but for Las Vegas, and congratulations, Seattle, well-deserved. I know we're talking more about Las Vegas. You guys are well-deserved. You guys deserve it more than us with the NBA team, so don't get us wrong. I'm happy for Seattle. I want the Supersonics back. They should have never left. So I'm happy for the city of Seattle. I definitely will be going to a Vegas Seattle game. That could be a cool little rivalry that we might have. I think that'd be pretty dope. But yeah, congrats to y'all. I think enough has been said about y'all. Y'all deserve it way more than us. So, but for us, I just think it's a situation where the NBA is going to want to know where the team's going to be playing at, the kind of ideas of, the marketability, team names, stuff like that. Some of the ideas that they have. Obviously, the ownership group, who's going to be the ownership group. Obviously, there's been rumors about LeBron James. Could this potentially be, kind of a hint that maybe LeBron James might retire at the end of the year, because he has been linked to, because obviously Shams already he had a report off today that LeBron James still doesn't know what he's going to do next year. A lot of people assume that he's just going to play one more year, but he kind of threw the little nugget out there, which I thought was a little interesting, that he kind of said that he's basing it on what the Lakers do this year. So I think that's kind of interesting to me. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean that if the Lakers do good, that the only way he'll come back is if the Lakers do good? He promised that they can win a championship. He's willing to take the pay cut because low-key, he probably really wants to stay in LA. He doesn't want to go back to Cleveland. He doesn't want to do all that. I think that he would do that if it was a must, but I don't think he necessarily has to do that. And I think he's satisfied what he's done in his career. So I think that's a little nugget that I think people got to watch. But overall, I'm super excited. I'm curious to see what the team name will be. And hopefully it's not corny or nothing like that. I know some of the names I've seen, I haven't been feeling it, but
I just saw one, Las Vegas Scorpions. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm cool. That's
somebody said Las Vegas Resort.
Las Vegas Resort. That's actually kind of funny, but no, I'm super excited, man. Hopefully they get this process going. They get the approval, and then hopefully before the beginning of next NBA season, they'll get the final approval, and we can just get this thing going, man, and get this NBA team, man. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, man, we get an NBA team. I'm back, Mom. I'm back. Better get some good players, though.
Well, obviously, they did talk about the expansion. So a little bit about the expansion draft. Obviously, if it does come to fruition, I think teams can only protect players that aren't in becoming free agents or player options or something like that. And that each team can only have one player taken from the team in the expansion draft. So obviously, with the depth that the NBA is going to be consuming over here the next couple of years, we got this great draft coming up. We got some pretty good drafts coming up here in the future. Hey, man, I think we can have a solid team. Obviously, I'm not saying we're going to go from, being like the Golden Knights where we're just off and running, going to the Stanley Cup. That ain't happening unless Victor Wembanyama, it's like one of the ones that get, available. But obviously that's not going to ever happen. But no, it should be interesting, I think, with the expansion draft and who we potentially could pry off some of these teams. And I think
Edwards, baby. Woo.
Yeah, that won't happen. But I would say this, though. I think Vegas will be a prime free agent destination, especially if we get the ownership right. No state taxes. You get to keep more of your bread. Obviously, the city of Las Vegas is somewhere a lot of NBA players love to come and hang. see that from certain people that we know closely. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man. But yeah, man. Look, I think you know what I mean. So no, I think we could be in competition, as with the Lakers, with the New York Knicks, with the Miami Heat. Some of these teams that have been labeled as some of these great free agent destinations that a lot of these players like to talk about. I think Vegas could easily be a part of that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We shall see. Is that all the NBA news?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is it.
All right, man. Let's get into some March Madness.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know pretty much the brackets are set up. I know we got the few games that to get the first four out, right?
Yeah, the first four out starts tomorrow. Yeah, it starts tomorrow.
So to get the stuff going up until Wednesday, and then Thursday will be the first round. We'll start. So we're gonna start with the women. Ladies first.
So, absolutely.
Go ahead and I'll pull mine first. Okay. Give me a second. Share screen. This one.
And while he's doing that, Mark, I agree with you. I think St. John's is a really good team. Once you see my bracket, I think you'll have an idea where I think they will be at.
A little foreshadowing. Yeah. All right. So this is my bracket for the women. I got UConn winning the whole thing. You see on my bracket, I got UConn going all the way to the Final Four. I have UConn, South Carolina, Texas, and I got UConn, LSU, Texas, South Carolina, and those are my Final Four. And I got UConn winning the whole thing against Texas. I just think UConn's the best team in women's basketball right now. I just don't see nobody beating them. It's just a well-oiled machine with Fudd and Sarah Strong. They got a squad over there, man, and they're really good now. I'm not sleeping on South Carolina. We all know what Dawn Staley represents. She's been in the Final Four and in the championship, I think, the last three years, I guess. So we all know what South Carolina represents. They got some good players over there too. Texas, we all know about them. They got some good players, and we all know what LSU represents. They got a squad too. But I just think UConn is just and shout out to UCLA. You know what I'm saying? They're a really good team too. They could very well be in the Final Four too. But I just think UConn is the best team in women college basketball right now. So I'm going with UConn to win it all.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up more. All right, Mom.
Damn, mine's a little grainy, huh?
Yeah.
Here, I'll pull up on my end. Here, you can actually, I'll pull up on my end. My bad, people. I thought that would
Can you see work a little bit better?
Let me see. Still look grainy.
No.
My bad, people. Here, I'll just pull up on myself. My bad. I thought it would work on that. That one is my fault, people. All right, this is my bracket. for the women. Obviously, I got UConn versus South Carolina, UCLA versus Texas. I think that's the only difference I had. I think I had UCLA beating LSU. I think Notre Dame's going to. I know Notre Dame. Look, I think that team is gonna, beat a lot of great teams, man. I think Notre Dame is gonna give UConn a nice game. I could see that. They're gonna hold their own, but I agree with you. I just think UConn is too tough. The thing with South Carolina is they're a really good team, but the way they went out in that SEC championship game made me worry about them a little bit. You know what I mean? Especially the way I know Texas is a really good team, great defensive squad. Madison Booker, we all know the type of scorer that she could be. I think that UCLA Texas game is going to be amazing. I'm not sleeping on UCLA. I think it's going to be a tough game. I won't be surprised if that thing went into overtime. But I'm going to slide Texas because I just think they're just playing better basketball currently right now. And then I agree with you. I think we have the same national championship game with UConn versus Texas. And I got UConn winning. I'll say this, though. UConn better win this because my girls at USC, they're coming next year, dog. USC girls are coming next year, so you better get this because Juju, that monster, she gonna be back next year and she gonna be hungry. So y'all better get it now. Shout out to Fudd. Shout out to all those ladies over there at UConn. Another chip for Ariana, greatest women's basketball coach of all time. So shout out to them.
One of the greatest coaches of all time.
Greatest coaches. Yep.
Alrighty. All right. I'll pull the men's up now. All right, so in my final four for the men, I got UConn, Houston, Arizona, and Michigan. I just think that these four teams have been playing really good. But I know Michigan lost yesterday to Purdue, but outside of that, I still think Michigan is still one of the better teams. Arizona is just a monster right now. They're the best team in the nation right now. UConn has been balling. Houston has been balling. Duke can very well be up in there. BYU can definitely be up in this. Also, various other teams like Arkansas, they can come in. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see if Darren Peterson is the best player. He could will this team to the Final Four. I could also see that too. Vanderbilt has a good chance to get in the Final Four too, even Florida. But I'll roll with these teams. I got Arizona winning. I just think that they're playing out of their mind. They're kind of like UConn right now. It's just I don't see no team beating Arizona right now. So I'm gonna go Arizona to win it all.
For sure.
You know, pull your men's up because it's probably gonna look the same.
Oh yeah, I'll do it. All right, here's my bracket. So here, obviously at the top, I got Duke and St. John's, meeting in the sweet Elite Eight, Sweet 16. I just think St. John's is a really good team. I think they're going to beat Duke. That's going to be one of my bigger upsets. I think St. John's and Duke, I think St. John's matches up pretty well with Duke, especially with the injuries that they do have. I don't assume those two gentlemen will be back for March Madness at all. I just think St. John's is matching up really well. I think they're playing some really great basketball, great defensive team. They've been shooting the rock really well as well. I think St. John's upsets Duke. I got Michigan State. And here I got UCLA beating UConn. I think UCLA, I know it's been some big conversations about UCLA. Obviously, they had that moment with their head coach and taking him, throwing his player out of the game. And I know he got a lot of heat for that. But ever since that moment, I think UCLA has been playing some very, very inspired ball. UConn has just, I don't know, something just ain't hitting with me with UConn this year. They've had some moments where they've looked sketch, and I think just the way they're both teams are kind of playing right now. I like UCLA to upset UConn in that moment, and then I think Michigan State is a balling team, bro. I think they're a really solid team. I got St. John's versus Michigan State in the Elite Eight, and then on their side, And then I got St. John's making it to the Final Four. The bottom bracket, I got Houston. I just think Houston and Kelvin Sampson, he's had this team in the Final Four the last couple years, man. I just think Houston, I can't see them losing, getting to the Final Four. On the other side, I got Arizona, BYU. I just think BYU, AJ DeBanson, he's going to show why he should be one of the top players in the nation as far as getting the draft. But I just think matchup-wise, they just do not match up well with Arizona. And I think Arizona will make it on that bracket. And then I got Michigan. Obviously, we got the big news about Alabama and one of their star players getting arrested today. He's in jail. Yeah. So yeah, I think they still have enough talent, and where the bracket is placed, I think the toughest game I think they would have is Texas Tech without that gentleman. I don't see him playing in this tournament, especially what he got arrested for. But we shall see. They might make an exception for him. But I got Michigan making it all the way against Iowa State, and then I got Michigan coming out. So in the one side, I got Arizona versus Michigan. I got Arizona winning that game. I just think they are the better team. And then I got St. John's losing to Houston. And I think this is the year Kelvin Sampson and those Houston Cougars. I know it's lit over there in Houston with spring break. I've seen some of them videos. Y'all gotta wear condoms, bro. Y'all gotta wear some condoms, bro. Yes, it's insane what I've been seeing on my Twitter. But I got Houston and them Cougars, man. I think Kelvin Sampson finally gets his championship. And I think they're celebrating in H-Town, man. The strip club's gonna be litty, boy.
Wow. For sure. Well, yeah, man. Should be exciting for the tournament this year, and see how it rolls, man. All right, man. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we will be right there.
Introduce yourself to Magnet, the ultimate sports drink. Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. It's power-packed electrolytes and rehydrates and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, use promo code Cris Mal to get $5 off your purchase. So don't wait. Again, that promo code is Cris Mal to get $5 off your purchase. Get Magnet, push your limits, fuel your passion.
At the Magnet Sports Drink. All right, man. Real quick, we're gonna do a quick boxing news. We had some big news today. Top Rank has reached a multi-year partnership with DAZN. The deal will be 8 to 10 dates per year, around 1.25 million per event. So now the Top Rank is with DAZN. Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing?
When I first got the news, I thought it was like for their whole slot, for everything. I was like, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan. I've never been a big fan of DAZN. I get it. We need Top Rank to be recognized and viewed. But I think after reading a little bit more of it, it just seems like these are going to be mainly for their smaller fights. You know what I mean? Just with the amount of money that's going to be invested into each event. So with that purpose, I'm not mad at it. But I think it's cool. But I think obviously we need to figure out where Top Rank is going to have some of their bigger matches, whether it's going to be ESPN thing, whether it's going to be a Netflix thing. And I think in that situation, it needs to be one of those two, because I think the whole purpose of Top Rank is we need more eyes on the sport. We need the capabilities of having more eyes on the sport. A lot of people don't have the zone. A lot of people don't have that subscription. I don't think Top Rank is going to be the decision of why people would subscribe to the zone. I just don't think it's that capacity. I think we need a lot of eyes on this sport, man. I think boxing is in a great state compared to UFC. I know there's been a lot of conversations. I know Chris ain't a UFC guy. I would love to get a conversation, but I know he's not a big UFC guy because UFC is struggling right now. You know what I mean? That was supposed to be the the big entity that was supposed to succumb boxing, but now you see Dana White, he's getting into boxing with Zuffa boxing. You know what I mean? He's paying Conor Ben $15 million, which then uprose a lot of the top UFC fighters complaining, why aren't we ain't getting that money? We've been the main reason why you've been able to make a lot of this bread that you have currently right now. And you're not paying us. You're not paying Conor McGregor. You're not paying John Jones. Like your White House card has been ridiculed with how you proponent is this going to be one of the biggest events that you've ever had, and then it turned out to be it's not a dud, but it's not what you claimed it out to be. So it's just kind of interesting that I think boxing is a great spot, but again, man, I know we like to talk mess about Jake Paul and stuff like that, but I think he's helped in a sense. The Great Turk. King, Prince, whatever, man, he's been a great proponent to boxing and getting it where it needs to be, and excitement levels for that. But with Top Rank, I just think with the bigger fights, they need to figure out a solution, whether it's Apple TV, whether it's Netflix, whether it's ESPN, somewhere where you can get the casual consumers to be able to digest boxing, especially the bigger fights, man. That's the only thing I'm really concerned about. But for these smaller fights, man, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it either. Get these up and coming guys a little bit more of a platform to do their thing on Top Rank. I've always had my issues with Top Rank and how Bob Aaron sometimes pushes his guys. So hopefully this will push it forward to help some of these younger guys on Top Rank to get out there and get their name out there, so the casual viewers can get a look at some of these boxers. So. Some unfortunate news. It looks like the Boots and Ortiz fight will not be happening, as Boots pretty much said it's time to move on. He said on Twitter that I did everything in my power to try to make this fight happen for the fans. I waited long enough and I stayed quiet through it all. Looks like Virgil and his team really didn't want to fight. I came to his fight on his hometown, told him he was next. That was November. It's March. It's still nothing. It's time to move on. 2 division champ up next. Ortiz kind of responded, pretty much said he tried to make the fight happen, but we all know the league, despite the legal issues, we know he has issues right now with Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy, so that's kind of put stalls in the fight right now. And De La Hoya has already said that he's never going to work with Ortiz ever again and his team, so that's some whole mess right there. It looks like Xander Zayas and Boots are moving forward, looking like they're negotiating right now in talks to set up a fight for them to fight at 154. I know Zayas has a belt, so there'll be for unification of those 2 belts. So it's unfortunate. We wanted to see him and Ortiz, but how do you feel about the situation now?
Both sides don't look good to me. At the end of the day, it's just a lot of bloviated stuff with them stepping in the ring, making it in the scene that this was going to be the fight. Like I just think you don't do stuff like that where you get into the ring and you do a whole face off and you don't do that. I've never been a big fan of that. I think that's somewhere if you're going to do that, you got to know that this is the fight that's going to happen next, because again, like it's a PTSD moment for boxing fans. Like, you get hyped up for a situation, you think you have the fight that everybody's been clamoring for, and then it get ripped out of you over some dumb stuff, whether it's legality, whether it's he say, she say, all that stuff is old news. And I think we're in an era of people just get down to the business, make fight happen. We've been able to see some of the biggest fights the last couple of years. Why can't this? And that's just kind of the way it feels. So at the end of the day, I don't think it's a good look for any party. Like, obviously we're going to get Boots and Zayas, and I think it'll be a cool little fight, but that's not the fight people wanted to see. And hopefully that whole situation with Virgil Ortiz and Oscar De La Hoya, hopefully they can resolve that so they can go their separate ways, and Virgil Ortiz can find a partner that he needs to go to. Not sure where he's looking at, but that's just kind of how I feel.
I think this is on De La Hoya. Like, I think he threw the monkey wrench into this fight with the whole legal situation, which had to put stalls on negotiations because he couldn't negotiate no more because the courts told him he couldn't negotiate no more. So I think that Oscar De La Hoya is the one who put the monkey wrench in this. I don't know if he didn't like the splits or whatever, but he's the one who stalled this fight. Because I think the fight was going to get made. I think that it was going to happen, and then he had to come in. I haven't been feeling Oscar De La Hoya and his moves lately at all. So I just think that he's been like this boxing Grinch. Like he just wants to get in the headlines and be above the boxers. And, I'm starting to get sick of Oscar De La Hoya, but it's unfortunate that this didn't happen. I still think it happens later on down the line, but you know, this was a fight to be made this year.
Yeah, even if that's the case, at the end of the day, then you can't sit here and act like Boots and Virgil Ortiz didn't know the situation with Oscar De La Hoya. It doesn't alleviate from them. That's all I'm saying. Like it's not Boots had to know. Like you're not sitting here and negotiate with Virgil Ortiz and you not know the whole situation that Virgil Ortiz is going through. You're not going to sit here and act like he doesn't know what Oscar De La Hoya is and the bullshit that he's been going through. He's been publicly doing this for years. So why even make a whole spectacle about this fight when you know good and well all the obstacles that you had to go through to get said fight?
I don't think at that time they knew though. When he got in
how
that
do you
ring,
not know?
That
been
case,
going on. How long has this Virgil Ortiz situation been going on with Oscar De La Hoya?
It just happened. That's what I'm saying.
Behind the scenes, it just didn't happen. Behind the scenes, it just didn't happen, dog. I get it. He just filed it, but 2 weeks,
I hear you,
like
brother. 2 weeks ago. Like this
Chris,
isn't like something when they got in the ring and they were like, "Oh, it's
I hear you, but this is a build up from that. That was a whole build up to get to that point, though. You know what I mean? You can't sit here and say if you're in the boxing world, you didn't hear the noise from the back end. That's all I'm saying. I get it. He just filed it, but it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just gonna file it off of one situation. It's been multiple situations between both of those guys where it got to that point where it just turned up. I don't know, brother. I don't think it works like that.
It was over the boot. I'm saying he filed it over the Boots fight. He filed it because he felt like a third party got involved. That's why he filed this over this fight.
I don't know. You go about this way and you ruin and you kind of butcher a relationship that builds you and your career. And I get Oscar De La Hoya isn't the guy that everybody is fond of working with. But again, he's been working with Oscar De La Hoya. I don't think this one moment with Boots Ennis is going to be the deterring factor of him not wanting to work with Oscar De La Hoya. I think there's some more to that.
Like, I'm not disagreeing with you as far as behind other small shit that's led up to this, but I'm just saying the whole situation with this fight, I don't think Boots knew anything about this when he got in that ring and was like, let's make this fight happen. I don't think Boots knew anything about that until it came up. Like, oh yeah, it's not happening now because they going to court. I was like, oh well, fuck. Me going to the ring. That's why he said what he said. That's why he said what he said. Nigga,
I don't know, man.
Town in front of all these people. Now
I hear you. Fight. I understand. I hear you. I receive that. But we all know boxers, bro. Like shit don't get swept under the rug. People don't know what other people's business are behind the scenes. Everybody knows what's going on in that world, man. It's a big gossiping world, dog. Like that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Boots is the highest percentage. I'm not giving percentages. I'm just like both parties. That's on you. That's me. I'm not saying I'm gonna give him the big bag of it, but I'm just saying like don't sit here.
Ortiz and
it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't make any party look good. Sorry, it don't. I don't care how you feel about the situations of bro. It's PTSD with these fights, bro. It really is. When people have high hopes and high sets to these fights, it makes both parties look bad. No one really cares who's at fault or not. It's the reality of the situation.
I'm not looking at Boots any differently. That's all I'm saying. I'm not looking
at
him
you,
like,
brother. You're talking about yourself. You're talking about yourself. I'm talking about the whole totality of everybody.
So you look at Boots differently now. You look at Boots differently now.
I'm annoyed with the situation, brother. Yes.
But do you look at Boots? So if he beats Xander Zayas, you're gonna look at him like he's nothing.
Who said that? Now you switching words. Now you switch to what I'm saying.
You're not gonna look at Boots as one of the top fighters in 154.
Who said anything about changing the perception of who he is as a boxer? I'm talking about the annoyed. No, I did not.
He's gonna take a hit. He's gonna take.
It's not a hit. It's not a. You're missing the whole perspective, brother. I'm talking about.
Looks bad.
Can I finish? Can I finish what I'm saying? I'm not talking about the perspective of him and his boxing career. No one's talking about who he is as a boxer. I'm talking about the perception of you wanted to make this fight. We all know how people feel when you throw big fights out there. Let me finish. When you throw big fights out there, people will have this perception like, damn, like both of these parties knew what the situation was. It's an annoying factor. All I'm saying is people are going to be annoyed at the fact that this fight wasn't made. No one's saying that Boots is a less of a fighter. No one's saying Virgil Ortiz is less of a fighter. The whole premise is Don't throw something in boxing people's faces with the PTSD we've been going through years and years and years, trying to alleviate the perception of trying to make these big fights and never getting that. We're just starting to get over a little bit of that hump of people believing that we're going to get these fights that we've been seeing due to certain parties that have helped make that not as a worry anymore. Now we get this big fight that everybody's been claiming for, one of the biggest fights of the year. You stepped into the ring. I don't give a fuck on that back end, how people, what happened, what he knew, this and that. It's just going to be an annoyance. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to fuck up his who he's viewed as a boxer. Like, what are you talking about? That has nothing to do with the situation. I'm talking about the fact that people are just going to be annoyed with both camps that these fight didn't happen. That's all I'm saying.
And we just got to agree to disagree, because how's that on Boo's camp? And he's the one over there like, hey, we here to
brother,
make a
when
fight.
it comes to
but
the
other side fucked up.
No one gives a fuck. I'm letting you know. No one gives a fuck about that shit. I'm talking about the outside views. You are different, brother. You are different. But it ain't just about you.
If me and you are negotiating something, you're ready. You got all your ducks in a row, and then something, and then my side throws a monkey.
Number one. That is number one. That is your number one. Hold up. Number one. That is your perception on what you believe. Now, do you know everything that's happened on the back end? No, you do not. Now, at the end of the, you don't know what Boots knows.
Is the reason why this stalled.
All right, brother. Okay, brother. I'm just letting you know. You're arguing for no reason. I'm letting you know. You are different in how you view things. I'm letting you know
what did Boots contribute to this? If you're giving him percent, what did he contribute to what Oscar De La Hoya did?
It doesn't matter, brother. No one cares about that shit, bro. And when you're on the outside looking in, no one cares about that. When you're a fan of boxing, when you want to see these two boxers fight, no one gives a fuck. They're going to look at both parties like, yo, you guys made this whole big spectacle. You assumed that we're going to get this fight. You built it up. And then all of a sudden it gets ripped out of fans' hands. And I don't care. You may be right with De La Hoya. It doesn't matter, brother. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. You are more into it.
So you don't think Oscar De La Hoya did this?
Whatever, dog.
You don't think Oscar De La Hoya did this?
What are you asking me for? What are you asking me for?
You're the one who said that the outside world don't give a fuck. So Oscar De La Hoya just gets to say whatever is on.
No, he's part of the whole thing, dog. What are you talking about? He's part of the whole camp. He's part of both parties. He's part of the situation. You're trying to mince. You're trying to mince to make your argument work. I'm trying to talk in the whole totality of the whole situation. You're trying to break parts of this situation. That's not what I'm doing. I'm talking about as the masses.
The person who fucked up the fight. That's what I'm talking about.
Dog, that is your perspective. That is your perspective, and you're right to feel that way. I'm not saying you're wrong. Let me finish. I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm trying to get your perspective.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Huh?
Then who fucked up the fight? That's what this is about.
Fucked up the fight? You can say Oscar De La Hoya fucked up and put the wrench in the fight. Absolutely. But you also can say you could be annoyed at both parties, because why even make this shit a big spectacle when you knew Oscar De La Hoya wasn't going to fuck with it in the first place? And everybody, and you knew that.
Obviously, they didn't know if they would.
Okay. If you believe that, bro, I got a beach house in Norway I could sell you. Like, let's be real.
So they did all this, and they knew. And knowing that Oscar De La Hoya was going to do this, they just did this just for show.
Brother, you act like this is new. You've never seen it. All right, bro. You got it.
Just for show, they did this.
You got it, bro. You got it, bro. You got it, bro. You got it, bro. You know what? You got it. You got it, bro.
That don't make sense. Bro. The man thing matter for no damn one.
Yeah, hey, math is math. You just want to be
stand in the middle. Let's just stand in the middle.
Nigga, how many times has that shit happened?
But we know,
bro, come on, Chris, let's be real. How many times has that happened in boxing? It's happened several times where people have put on this big spectacle, like we're gonna get this fight, and it never happens, dog. What are you talking about?
But name me the time where a promoter threw a monkey wrench by saying, I'm going to sue this guy and stall fights. We've never seen that.
Okay. All right. Just because it happens, bro. Just because it happens in that particular type of way doesn't mean other shit has happened where a promoter has threw a wrench into a fight not happening. Just because it happens in that specific way that we've never seen before doesn't mean a promoter has never stopped a fight from happening. So miss me with that shit. That's a cool little argument that you have, but that's not the reality of the situation of how people feel. People may feel the way you feel. People may feel the way I feel. People may feel like, man, fuck both of these
parties because we're never going to get this fight. That is the reality of the totality of the situation, brother. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying Oscar De La Hoya didn't have a big part or a big percentage into what has happened into this fight not happening. All I'm saying is you're just going to get the overall feel where people are like, bro, it's a PTSD moment. I get it. Oscar De La Hoya threw in the wrench, trying to sue and not make the fight happen. Yes, it's fucking annoying, but the whole perspective is, bro, we're just tired of seeing shit get built up and the shit not happening. People are over that shit. That's one of the biggest problems in boxing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It's time to do our big US short fight picks.
Let's do it.
What you
got? So today I got the Spurs -8 against the Clippers. We all know that situation is not going to look good, so definitely like that. And then I got the Final Four. I got Howard +1 over MD versus Baltimore. I got Texas money line over North Carolina State. I got Lehigh -3 over Prairie View A&M. And then I got Miami of Ohio covering the +7 against SMU. Not saying they're going to win the game, but I think a lot of people haven't been giving them the respect. Obviously, it got shown by where they've been placed at with a 31-1 record. I get their schedule wasn't the best and all that, but I think Miami and Ohio is going to show out, and I think they'll cover. Not saying they'll win, but I think they'll put on a respectable game
for sure. I'm taking the Celtics 8.5 over the Suns. I'm taking the Lakers money line over the Rockets, and I'm taking the Clippers +8 over the Spurs.
So,
if you go to any of our social media platforms, you'll see the Bet US link. You click on it, first time users. You sign up, put the promo code JOIN125, you get 125% signing bonus plus 10% games insurance. That's 3 risk-free bets on your first 3 deposits on $100 up to $5,000. That means on your first 3 deposits, if you bet $100 and you lose your bet, you keep your money. So you can go over there and win some money, or you can keep your money on your first 3 deposits. Just tell them Cris Style Mal sent you. And that does it for our Bet US Short Five Picks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Max Kellerman on his show, he was talking about the whole Bam Adebayo thing and the point, him beating the record and, the whole discourse with him passing up Kobe. And, there was some Kobe fans that weren't too happy with the discourse and all that stuff. And so this is what he had to say about the Wilt Chamberlain. We've even said it on this show about the 100-point game with Wilt Chamberlain because there's been no footage. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I might change the tune because I saw some stuff on the.
You saw what? What'd you see?
Well, if you look up the top 5 people who have had the record for the points, Wilt Chamberlain's been on that list by 4 or 5 times. So it's not like he hasn't been. It'd be different if the 100 points was his only time he was on the list, but he's been on there like 4 or 5 times. So maybe he did do. We just
how many points? How many points did he have each of those times?
Like, let me see. Like it was 70, and you know what I'm saying? Like it just kept building up.
I hear you. My thing is, where's the video? Where's the video?
I agree with you.
All we got is a picture. Like we got videos of the recession back in 1912. We got photos of the Titanic, but we ain't got Wilt Chamberlain scoring a single point in this game. Like I don't know, man. I'm not saying he didn't do it, but that's my only conspiracy theory. But I hear you. I received that. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I'll look it up later. But I saw the list. Now I was looking at it. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
5 times. Maybe he did do it.
Nah, for sure.
But let me go ahead and play this clip from Max Kellerman. He's blaming Kobe fans of the reason why people don't believe Wilt Chamberlain didn't break that record.
Times everyone's conspiracy. Did we really land on the moon? All this nonsense, right? And then it occurred to me after the Bam thing, what's actually going on. You know what that conspiracy stuff about Wilt really was? That's Kobe fans, Kobe stans, really. No, thinking at the time, whether it's conscious or unconscious, if we take 100 points away from Wilt, Kobe has the all-time record. now Bam has 83. That's what infuriated the Kobe fans so much. Not if they're like, even if we take 100 away from Wilt, there's still someone with more than Kobe. And the reason for that is, I think, and I brought this up the other day, I want to get a little deeper into it. If the idols of your time are the greatest idols ever, then your time was the greatest time ever.
Yeah, it's your time.
And by extension, you and your time had meaning. In this infinite universe or multiverse or whatever, 8 billion people on the planet Earth, it's easy to feel meaningless. But sports, in a way, becomes people's religion because and the idol becomes their like sports god, because when you see the best player of a given era, LeBron, Kobe, whoever it is, when your eyes are on them, there's no way that these other guys they're talking about could be better than this. Nothing could ever be better than this, right? So you start to kind of deny history. You start getting angry at the future as that unfolds because it's no longer your time. You're not watching that in your formative years.
Right.
And so you somehow feel diminished, which is, look, when I was a kid, I used to.
All right, that's all he said right there. How do you feel about what Max Kellerman said about that?
I find it very laughable because I've never heard a Kobe fan, Laker fan, who has discredited Wilt Chamberlain. Like, I've said some stuff where I'm like, where's the video? Like, I'm just making a student of points. Like, we've gotten video of landing on the moon. We've gotten, Titanic video. We've gotten stuff back in the late 1800s, whatever the case may be. But we ain't never had a video of Wilt Chamberlain. Like, you know what I mean? Especially in that moment. You know what I mean? We haven't got the only picture we've ever seen from that moment. I could be ignorant to the situation, is him holding a picture of a piece of paper that just says 100. We don't see a stat line. We don't see nothing like that. I don't know. I just find it weird. But if he did it, he did. It's cool. Whatever. It's in the record books. Just whatever. I've never heard Kobe fans or Laker fans discredit Wilt Chamberlain. I've never heard Kobe fans be delusional. I think we're at a sensitive time with Kobe fans because I think a lot of people are trying to discredit Kobe. Like, the moment when he was alive, what was the conversation about Kobe? Kobe was one of the greats of all time, potentially top 3 next to Kobe. I know a lot of people like to kind of like penalize Kobe for I guess mimicking Michael Jordan in a lot of ways. But in reality, he was the closest thing to Mike. So if Mike is the best player, wouldn't Kobe be the second best player? And I get it. There's a lot of great players of a lot of great eras, and it's more sense of an ignorance to kind of debate eras and debate players, because there's greats from all over history, no matter what sport. So it is a little ignorant to that fact, because we will never get the fact of who the greatest of all time. We can speculate through wins and Super Bowls and all that type of stuff like that, but we got to factor in different situations, the way teams were constructed, the way talent was assessed, and all that type of stuff. Like, shit evolves. And we understand that. But ever since Kobe's passing, I think they gave a grace a year. But I think the reality is, I think a lot of people still have a little hardness about Kobe, especially in his beginning years, where he wasn't the most likable. He wasn't the most friendly. He was very, people viewed him as, like one of the worst teammates and all that. But what we've seen? Love. We've seen a lot of teammates speak up for him, speak up on how he was as a person. He's been one of the biggest proponents to why the WNBA has been received so well. He started off as being one of the first players to ever accept the WNBA for what it was and try to build up that platform for WNBA players. We've seen the performances that he's given, some all-time memorable performances, bigger than anything we've had. And all of a sudden he's passing a couple years away. It's just, we're going to disrespect Kobe. He's not this, he's not that. He needed Shaq. T-Mac could have been Kobe if he had Shaq, and all this other type stuff like that. That's when it gets starting disrespectful. So I think it's a sense of people being very sensitive about Kobe, just because of the manner of and the difference how people have started talking about this man, knowing you wouldn't have said that when he was alive. And we all know the conversation because there's mad videos of how you portrayed Kobe when he was alive. The moment this man is dead and he hasn't been in the grave for 10 years, now all of a sudden you guys want to kind of change the whole talking points about Kobe and what he meant to the NBA. Kobe was everything to the NBA. He was everything to a lot of these players who are in the league now. And I get it. Bam Adebayo, he had 83 points. Congrats to him. But let's call a spade a spade. It wasn't the most beautiful thing. He had 43 free throws. And then on top of that, Eric Spoelstra had to force his way to get to 83 points. I'm not blaming Bam. I said it clearly that day we did the show. I clearly said it. Chris can attest to it, or you can look back at it. I said congrats to Bam. But let's be real. The way Eric Spoelstra and that team handled it, the way the Wizards looked so pathetic on that court, not even trying to do anything to stop that, it's damning on the game, and it's totally disrespecting the game and what it's meant. So Max Kellerman talking about like we're some delusional fan base that of this Kobe and we hold this side of ground. You need to talk to LeBron fans about that. I think they're one of the most delusional ones out of all. They don't ever want to speak to what LeBron is, and I'm not discrediting anything LeBron has done, but we all got to call a spade on who LeBron was as a basketball player. You know what I mean? And some of the things that he got benefited from that has elevated his career. And I just think it's disrespectful. I think it's just downright laziness in this conversation piece about we want to blame Kobe fans and all that. It's not just Kobe fans who talked about Bam Adebayo. It's the whole goddamn league. It's young players, old players. Victor Wembanyama wasn't impressed. Charles Barkley and all those guys. Why is it singling Kobe fans? It's always Kobe fans, Kobe this, Kobe that. And it always has to be in a disrespectful manner. And I find that highly disrespectful. Highly disrespectful. Kobe to me is my GOAT. He's up there with Mike and all that. Up there with Bron. He's up there with Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all these greats. But people are trying to lower this man like he's not a top 5 player of all time. Let's call it facts. He's one of the best of all time. And sooner or later, it's going to get a whole perception that this man wasn't even a top 25 player. That conversation is going to happen. I guarantee you it's going to happen because these people are idiots. These people want to do clickbaity shit. And Max Kellerman, I love you. I love you in boxing, brother. I just wanted to hear you about boxing. I don't want to hear you about basketball and all that. The moment you said you want Iguodala to take the shot over Steph Curry was the most asinine shit I've ever heard. Like, brother, just stick to boxing respectfully. Stick to boxing and rap because this basketball shit, you just say the most dumb shit sometimes. Respectfully, still love you in boxing. Still love you who you are and all that. Big ups to you. But this is one of my biggest annoyances with the Kobe conversation because people just get mad disrespectful and want to be oblivious to what Kobe meant to this league and what he contributed to the Lakers, Shaq's career, and all this other type of shit. Shaq wasn't winning with Penny. He won with Kobe. Let's be real.
Relax on Penny.
Let's be real. It's no disrespect to Kobe, but there is levels to the shit. There's levels to the shit. And Kobe was one of those levels. And people got to start being more respectful to what he meant to this league and the culture of basketball. So
Penny
that's all I said. What?
Penny was on that lip too.
No, he wasn't. Not long enough. Respectfully.
Penny.
What
was I about to say? Yeah, I don't understand the whole Kobe thing. I mean, I get what he was trying to get to, but I don't think this was secluded to Kobe fans. I think this had been a worldwide thing of people saying this about Wilt Chamberlain because this is really ultimately about discrediting Wilt Chamberlain and him saying that Kobe fans is the one that put it out there that Wilt Chamberlain because Bam got the record now, so now we can't hold that over. Like, yeah, I just think this is a worldwide thing of people just starting to get a little bit more like we want to see footage. We got footage of everything else.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. Like, yeah,
we got stuff all the way back from the 1900s, early 1900s. So why can't we get footage of Wilt Chamberlain scoring now? The word is, and I think this is kind of convenient. The word is that when the 100-point game happened, it was they said it was a regular season game. It wasn't televised. It was there were no cameras there, and it was only 2 reporters there.
Yeah, exactly. We live in a conspiracy world, and people are like, "Come on, man, what are we talking about, dog?" Like, I get it. He might have had 100 points, but again, it's just not a situation where this is just Kobe thing. This is the totality of everybody who has a fucking brain who's like, well, where's the footage? Like, he probably had it. Cool, congrats, but just a piece of paper that says 100. Why should we take that to the bank? That's all I'm saying. And in the Bam situation, it was egregious on how it went and how they called the game and how pathetic the Wizards were and what Eric Spoelstra did to force him get that 83 points. That's a fact. It's nothing against Bam. He went out there and performed, but just the way it happened, it was disgusting. It was. But at the end of the day, he's going to be in the record books for 83. But now I think it's disrespectful because everybody wants to do shooting in the trash can, say Bam and all that shit like that. It's just like now you're purposely trying to, and I get it's kind of like weird in that sense, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just like weird. It's like you're going out of ways just to be disrespectful to Kobe. It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's just corny and weird.
And yeah, this is where Will Chamberlain did have 70 or more 6 times, once in 61, 4 times in 62, and once in 63.
Absolutely. Can we find video of those? I'm just saying, like, it'd be kind of funny we find videos of him doing that shit, but the 100, like, there's no video. Especially because wouldn't it make sense that you would have cameras following around Wilt Chamberlain and reporters following Wilt Chamberlain at every game? He was the biggest spectacle of that time.
Been tired of this shit, man.
But it doesn't matter.
It's probably following around the Celtics too.
I get it, but Wilt Chamberlain was one of the star players, though, and I get it. I don't know how they used to handle media back then in the day. I wasn't born back in those days. But in my eyes, when you're trying to promote the league, you want to promote your best teams and the best talent. So why wouldn't you have reporters? Why wouldn't you have cameras? Why wouldn't you record anything this man does? Because if he had 70.6 times before this 100-point, wouldn't you want to be able to be like, yo, this might be the guy that may be able to do something crazy, score 80, score 90, whatever the case may be. Like, it's like when LeBron's in the building, there's gonna be hella cameras because you don't know what he's gonna do. When Victor Wembanyama's in the building, there's gonna be more cameras than usual. If it's just like fucking Luke Cornett, or not Luke Cornett, if it's just like LaMelo Ball or something like that. No disrespect to LaMelo, but it's levels to the shit. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, it's weird. But shout out to Will, shout out to Bam, shout out to Kobe.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Another video. Rory and Mal were discussing classic albums.
I didn't hear this one.
Yeah, they're discussing classic albums, and Rory brought up what is the worst classic album of all times, which is kind of a crazy ass question because it's a classic. I don't understand that question, but I'm gonna play this clip because Mal said that Get Rich or Die Tryin is up there, but look what he had to say.
So I have a gauge to see if Kiss of Death is below or above that.
If you go back and listen to Get Rich or Die Tryin', it's a great album. And the impact is why I think people call it a classic. When they drop everything around 50, he's bulletproof vest.
Yeah, all of it. 50 Mania. Right.
I understand that. I'm saying when you go back and listen to it, the album, to me, I wouldn't say that's a classic album.
Let's go through the music real quick. I'm not going to skip any records. I'm not going to do the highlights. I'm just going to read. Starts with What Up Gangsta. Well, the intro with 2 quarters falling.
Right.
What up,
too.
What Up Gangsta? Patiently waiting with Eminem. Many men in the club, high all the time. Heat. If I can't, Bloodhound, back down. PIMP, like my style.
PIMP is crazy.
Crazy.
PIMP is a classic song.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
And I love 50. I hate that fucking song.
Worry about the fucking swing.
If I'm washing the dishes and the album is playing, I'm not running to dry my hand to skip that. That's gonna play.
Like my style. 21 Questions. Don't Push Me. Gotta Make It to Heaven. Bonus tracks. Wangsta. You Not Like Me. Life's on the Line.
Like my classic albums are like Thriller.
But more Thriller is
okay.
It went from this motherfucker went from Get Rest or Die Tryin' to Thriller. Like what?
And we're judging all class, and mind you, he didn't go to no hip hop albums. That's what we were talking. That was the basis of the conversation. The basis of the conversation was when they were on my expert opinion. They were talking about Jadakiss. And Jadakiss, they were saying, is he having classic albums? And they was trying to say Kiss of Death might have been a classic album. I personally don't think Jadakiss has I think he has a good album. I don't think he is classic.
I have
but
a classic with Fox, but
yeah, We Are the Streets is a classic with the Locks. But him individually, no, he doesn't. But to say Get Rich or Try and Drive, that's not even the first pool. If we're gonna get into this, the worst classic album, like 2003 was MVP. He was the MVP. Like how we said Kendrick was the MVP of what 2024. Like 50 was MVP of 2003. Like his whole album was on the radio, damn near.
Yeah, I remember.
Like
basketball blessings on the game. That's all we listened to was 50.
Yeah, and then to sit here and say PIMP is not a, what?
Yeah,
What are you talking about? And then you go from trying to make your argument to put it against the greatest, one of the greatest artists.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, if you're gonna compare it to fucking Thriller, yeah, it's not Thriller. I would say, like, what are you doing? Like, come on, dog, that's crazy, dog.
Put in perspective of you got to compare it to other hip hop albums in the genre, in their times. Like, if you're gonna compare it to Blueprint or Illmatic or something like that, like. You got to compare it to that. And even still, I just think this is a dumbass conversation to say, what classic album is the worst? Like,
yeah, you just run out of that. You're running out of topics at that point. You know what I mean?
Like, if it's a classic album, I'm going to listen to both of them equally.
Facts. Now, if you want to be like, I guess in the sense of like, sorry to cut you off. I guess in the
say which one is the better album.
Yeah, the better one. Then like if you're having a bracket of all the classic albums, then you're gonna have to dissect and doing all that shit. But just being like, yo, what was the worst? I'm like, that's disrespectful to like, what are we talking about? Now we're deteriorating classics now. Like,
and then to go from like, he's not Thriller. It's like, well, duh, motherfucker. None of these
that's not even the same genre, bro. Like, Mike is Mike, dog. Like, people gotta stop comparing Michael Jackson was the one of one. There's never ever going to be a Michael Jackson, bro. Ever. Taylor Swift ain't Michael Jackson. Like, let's be honest. I know people like to compare Taylor Swift to Michael. Nah, it's levels. Respect to Taylor. I know she has a big hive, but nah, Michael Jackson was a one of one, dog. There's nothing like you'll see it when that movie comes out too.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, Maul, I don't know what you were trying to go with that. Like, he's not. I don't think a Thriller. Like, what?
Yeah, nah. Get Rich or Die Tryin is 50's all-time classic. That's his all-time classic. Like, it's not even close. Like,
and it still goes to this day.
Still. I don't know what you're talking about. PIMP. PIMP was that shit. Like, Many Men. Like, Many Men is like, bro. We just had the whole instance at the Oklahoma Alabama game where Many Men came on and we saw the impact of that had. Like, people still had that as like one of the top sports locker room songs.
You can go to the club. You can go to the club right now and play in the club, and everybody's getting up and dancing.
Absolutely, especially in today's climate where you got a lot of these new age kids who like to, disrespect the older music. They still hold them songs to high regard. So that speaks to the level of classic level of what Get Rich or Die Tryin'. Like, you still got these young kids who weren't even alive in a sense to really appreciate the whole impact of Get Rich or Die Tryin' like we did and what we experienced when that first album came out, and they're still holding on to this album like it's theirs. You know what I mean? So I think Maul, like, look, man, we all know Maul, man. Like, I don't know, man. He's kind of lost a lot of faith in his commentary. He lost a lot of that with the whole Drake and Kendrick shit. And I get it, you got to ride for your boy, but it gets to a point, man. Sometimes, you got to be honest about your situation. So, but yeah, shout out to Maul, man. He ruining my name. Like, Maul making me look bad. That's how bad that comment. He making me look bad. Like, people gonna look at me like, can we trust Mauls anymore? Can we trust any Maul that making comments, bro? Like, bro, you gotta stop making Mauls look bad, bro. You gotta stop making us look bad. I'll be liking with them jokes like, man, don't get the 9. Don't get the 9, Mo. That shit crazy.
Yeah. Shout out to Roy Maul, though.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Always with the controversy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. We're gonna do our first round mock draft, y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
No, Maul's been waiting so he could pick his boy.
Yeah. I'm gonna play along so I know where this thing is going. Okay, look at these names.
All the teams. 1 round. Slow down a little bit. All right. All right. Now let me pull it up. Share the screen. And bam. All right, y'all. So the Raiders are on the clock. That means Maul, you're on the clock, man.
I don't know how to do that shit, but look, we all know what's going to happen right here. This is probably the easiest pick of the whole entire draft. My Las Vegas Raiders will select quarterback from Indiana, Fernando Mendoza.
All righty. The New York Jets are up. Now, we can go so many different ways. They can go Arvell Reese because, you know, they run more of a 3-4 front over there. So they can get an Arvell Reese who's more of an off-ball linebacker. Now, the crazy thing about Arvell Reese is that he's kind of a hybrid. Like, you can move him all the way around. Is he a typical, you know, defensive end? Not typically, because he really didn't like have a lot of big sack numbers in Ohio State or nothing like that. Like it's more of a projecting. They see the traits. They starting to compare him more to like a Micah Parson type because he fits the mold, the athleticism, the build, and all that stuff. We don't know particularly is he going to be that, but you know they can go Arvell Reese. They can go with Sonny Styles to solidify their linebacking core. Another guy who can play Mike linebacker, and some are comparing to possibly Fred Warner. Like, so that could be there. Ruben Bain, obviously, David Bailey. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Arvell Reese. I think that he fits what they want to do. So I'm going to go Arvell Reese.
Not mad.
Next on the clock, Arizona Cardinals.
Obviously, Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, they can go the defensive route. Obviously, you know, they can really like what Sonny Styles showed them and what they seen. You also, you know, have David Bailey out there. I know he's being a lot of praise. I'm gonna lean that I think they go offensive side. I'm gonna go with offensive tackle. I'm gonna go Francis Monguire. I'm gonna go with my guy. Offensive tackle. I think they solidify that offensive line a little bit more. Obviously, get ready for the quarterback that they're going to get need in the future. So I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with Francis.
Next up, the Tennessee Titans, another team that can go so many different directions. Now, they went into free agency and they went crazy on defense. We all know Robert Saleh. He wants to build that defensive up. He wants to, you know, play really good defense, take pressure off of Cam Ward. They added Wan'Dale Robinson. Now they can go different direction. They can go Jeremiah Love here. They can go Carnell Tate here to get him an offensive weapon. They can go offensive line with Spencer Fano also. I'm kind of torn where I want to go. They can go Caleb Downs too. Sonny Styles is interesting, but I'm gonna go Jeremiah Love. I think that you get Jeremiah
over
Love.
David Bailey in this situation. You think they pick?
They got Jermaine because they went and got Jermaine. What's his name? Jermaine Johnson in the trade. That's somebody Robert Saleh picked, and they went and got James Meyer Franklin in the middle to go with Jeffrey Simmons. So I think they want to rush from the interior. You got Jermaine Johnson. That's going to make life easier for him. But you got to put weapons around Cam Ward. And you got to make life easier for him. You got to have some easy buttons. I think Jeremiah Love is that easy button. You put him in the backfield with Cam Ward. I think that you open up the play action pass. The man can do it all. He can catch out of the backfield. He's good third down back. So I'm going to go with Jeremiah Love. The New York Football Giants are on the clock.
Yeah, obviously, New York Giants, man, they have some holes they can fill out. I know there's been a lot of big talk about them potentially getting a receiver right here. Obviously, Caleb Downs would be huge. But with this, I think just what he showed in the combine, I think what he will show on his pro day, I'm going to go with Sonny Styles right here. I just think it's kind of hard to pass up that kind of talent and what he potentially could be. He could potentially be formed into the next Fred Warner with just kind of athletic ability that he can. Now, obviously, there are certain things that he has to work towards. Like saying he could be Fred Warner is a lot. But I think he can get close to it just with the athletic ability that he has. Obviously, there's some things he does need to get to work on, but I think you add him to that defensive side, make it more athletic on the middle portion of that defense, second level of that defense. I think will help a lot. So I'm gonna go with Sonny Styles right here.
All right. And now with that, the Cleveland Browns are on the clock. Now, defensively, I think Cleveland is pretty legit. You know, you got Myles Garrett, you got Mason Graham. Now they possibly could use another edge on the other side, but I think they're pretty solidified on that defensive side. You still got Denzel Ward at the corner. Now they can go Caleb Downs and solidify their safeties and pair him with Denzel Ward, and I think that would be crazy. But they need weapons, and you're already losing Njoku. You got Jerry Jeudy, but we all think Jerry Judy's more suitable to be a number 2 than he is a number 1. And regardless who's starting, whether it be Deshaun Watson or Shador Sanders, they're gonna need a wide receiver. So I'm going Cornell Tate. Keep him in Ohio State boy. Get that fan base rolling with a Cornell Tate that they're very familiar with. So I'm going Cornell Tate right here.
For sure. Next up, Commanders. Look, if it falls this way, I think the Commanders are doing cartwheels. I think they take David Belly right here. You add him to that defensive line. Obviously, you want to add more to that defense. I think if it falls this way, I think they take David Belly.
For sure. I'm gonna go ahead and let you take Saints pick too.
Okay. Saints pick, obviously wide receiver. Let's see. I think they will go. So many things they could do. I think they'll go. Let's go. Man, this is tough. Could go receiver. They obviously can get some help on that cornerback line. Who else is available?
Kenyon Sadiq, Mekhi Lemon, Sean McCoy, John Tyson, King Mazador. Yeah.
I think they go. Let's go Mekhi Lemon here. Let's go Mekhi Lemon.
Okay. And with this, now look, the Chiefs can't go wide receiver. We don't know what's going to happen to Rasheed Rice going into the season. And also, we don't, Xavier Worthy, he's going to have to take a step forward. I don't know if they're going to sign another veteran wide receiver. So wide receiver could be high. But I think our biggest need right now is defensive end. We need a defensive end. I think this should be a no-brainer. If he's still here, you take Ruben Bang and you solidify that defensive end with him, George Karlaftis. You got Chris Jones still. And I think that you booster up the pass rush, man. All right, the Bengals are on the clock.
So you want Ruben Bang here. Obviously, Bengals defensive side, I think right here, I think they would be really happy in this case. I'm going to go with safety Caleb Downs right here. for the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, they need any kind of help they can have on that defensive side. You just lost one of your best pass rushers in Trey Henderson. So, obviously, you would love to get some D-line help, but I think Caleb Downs will be the best defensive player available at this moment.
All right, the Miami Dolphins are on the clock. They're another team that also could use a wide receiver, but they also can use help at DB. And I'm going to go with Mansour Delane here. I think that you get your top tier corner here, solidify that side, and you just lost Mika Fitzpatrick. So add Mansour Delane. He becomes your top, defensive player on that side, and yeah, man, you solidify a spot.
For sure.
Cowboys on the clock.
Cowboys. I know. There's been some talk about some of his injury and stuff like that, but I'm gonna still go with Jermon McCoy. I think Jermon McCoy gets picked up right here for the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, they lost Trevon Diggs and some other pieces. So, but I think they'll go with Jermon right here.
The LA Rams are on the clock now. There has been talk about them possibly taking Ty Simpson. I don't think they do that. You can go linebacker here also. I don't think that there's a linebacker that is worthy to go this high. So I'm gonna go with tackle, man. I'm gonna take Spencer Fanu. I think he solidifies maybe the right side of this offensive line. You want to protect Matthew Stafford at all costs. So I'm gonna go with Spencer Fanu here.
Okay.
Next up, the Baltimore Ravens.
Obviously, Baltimore Ravens, you would kind of think they would need a center, but there's really no center that is high in that manner to take this high. The best linebacker is off the board. I guess you could probably take a guard in this situation. Or you could try to do a receiver here. I think they're going to help out Jordan. I think they're going to help out Lamar. I think they'll go ahead and get I'm going to go with Jordan Tyson right here.
Okay. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock. I think they got plenty of weapons. Now, they could use a tight end. I know they signed Auden back, but you can never have too many weapons, but there is a lot of receivers in there. They could go safety right here to help out that back end. I think that one of the things that they suffered from last year was their back end wasn't that good, and they lost Jamel Dean. Are you getting Antoine Whitfield? What's so funny?
You right though.
What happened?
You didn't see his comment?
What did he say? You want to all the pick for the pitch. I mean, it is what it is, man. That's how I feel, dog. It ain't like he picked a bad player for him.
Nah, I didn't.
But Antoine Winfield Jr., he's coming back after an ACL tear, so you want to solidify that back end with somebody to help out with Antoine Winfield. I don't know if you want to draft Dylan right there, but you can go with Kenyon Sadiq also. But I'm gonna go with Dylan Deal. You got to help that defensive side. That was the problem with the Buccaneers last year.
Okay.
New York Jets are back on the clock.
I think with the New York Jets, obviously they're not getting the quarterback, wide receiver, edge. I think this will be right here, be the good spot for him. I think we'll go with Keldrick Folk right here for the New York Jets.
Oh, okay. All right, the Detroit Lions on there. Now they did lose a tackle. I think they lost one in free agency. They had some issues at right tackle last year, or no, left tackle. Their left tackle had got hurt. When they were rotating guys in and out. You could also go guard. You can go Kenyon Sadiq there with Sam Laporta coming off an injury. You could possibly bring Kenyon Sadiq on, put him next to him, do some 2 tight end sets there, and wait for him to come back. So you can go so many different ways in here. I'm gonna pick Kenyon Sadiq right here.
You don't pick Kenyon Sadiq right here?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick him right there because Sam Laporta, he gets hurt a lot. And if you got Kenyon Sadiq, now you got somebody who, you got another weapon out there that can go with Monse Brown and Jameer. What's his name? What's the receiver name? Other receiver, fast dude.
Oh, Joe Addison.
No, for the Lions.
Oh, Jamison Williams.
Yeah, Jamison Williams. So you put him out there, and if Sam Laporta can stay healthy, then you got a nice little two tight end set that you could run. And if free agency come, you let him walk, and now you got Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah.
Vikings are on the clock.
Vikings, I think they're really gonna look hard at the safety position. Obviously, they let go of one of their boys. I think they go ahead and I think they reach, man. I think they go with my man Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, safety for Toledo.
Okay. The Carolina Panthers are on the board. They've done some things in free agency that I like. They got their linebacker and what's his name? What's the linebacker that was on Jacksonville last year? Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
Devin Lloyd. They signed Devin Lloyd. They got Jalen Phillips on the edge. So they made some pretty good signings. They can always booster up their offense. I don't really see anybody here. Maybe Omar Cooper can come in. But you know what? I think I'm gonna go with this Penn State guard. I think they'll move him to center, and they'll put him at the center spot. They need to get better on that offensive line if you're gonna help out Bryce Young. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go long here. Sure. The Cowboys are back on the clock.
Cowboys here. Obviously, we got their cornerback. I think they still look on the defensive side right here. I think they could also be a potential, maybe if they don't like anybody strongly enough, maybe they might trade back a little bit, maybe like a pick down or two, because they probably could get the same player. But I'm gonna go with just because we're not gonna do trades. I'm gonna go with CJ Allen, linebacker of Georgia.
Okay. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. If Aaron Rodgers is coming back, you want to try to get him the most weapons he can get. Now, we got Michael Pittman Jr., you got DK Metcalf, but I don't see no problem adding one more weapon. It might be a reach, not too much of a reach, but I'm gonna go with Omar Cooper Jr. right here, man. I think he brings a playmaker ability that you can play him in the slot. With those two big receivers on the outside, you can use Omar Cooper in the middle of the field, and he can be kind of a big play guy. So I'm gonna go with Omar Cooper Jr. here.
No, for sure.
Los Angeles Chargers are on the board.
Los Angeles Chargers. Obviously, with Los Angeles Chargers, you would probably think they probably want to maybe try to see if they can get a decent receiver. But I don't think there's anybody I think I would take at this moment in time. So I would think they'll probably look more on the defensive side. I think their offensive line is pretty much set. As long as those guys stay healthy, they probably have one of the better offensive lines in the league. I know that's been kind of their problem. I'm going to go with defensive side. I'm going to go with who we have available. I'm going to go Peter Woods right here. Let's go Peter Woods.
Oh, Peter Woods, huh? The Philadelphia Eagles is on the clock. As we know, they might be losing A.J. Brown. So there's a potential there that they will be needing to fill a spot at wide receiver. That's something that they're gonna have to look in. They could also go with offensive tackle. Their tackles were, not as good as they usually been, so they can go with Monroe here. But you know how they roll. They're gonna roll. They're gonna try to booster up this defensive line, and you can never have too many defensive ends. I'm going to King Mesidor here.
King Mesidor.
The Cleveland Browns are on the clock.
Obviously, I think they got Shador. You probably could get another receiver, guard, tackle. I think they'll focus on the offensive line. Let's go Caleb Lomo.
Who?
Caleb, Utah. You see him? Or did you already pick him? Did you already pick him?
Who?
Caleb Lomo.
Oh, right here. Tackle him. Okay. All right. Then. The Chicago Bears are on the clock. I think the Chicago Bears, they definitely need defensive line help. They need help in that pass rush. They need somebody who can get to the quarterback. And I think this will be a perfect spot for Cassius Howe, defensive end out of Texas A&M. I know he's on the smaller side, but he has that speed rush, and I think he will help them out on that defensive side. So I'm going Cassius Howe here. And Maul's Buffalo Bills on the clock.
Buffalo Bills. See, Buffalo Bills. Obviously, they did get their receiver with DJ Moore. Obviously, I think they would need to get more on the defensive side. They lost a lot of key pieces on that defensive side. Let's go. Could use some edge help. Let's go. This is one stuff. Let's go, Caden. Let's go, Caden McDonald. Add more beef into that inside.
Yeah, that's a good pick for them. San Francisco 49ers on the clock. I think they need help on that offensive line. I think that, outside of, we don't know what's going to happen. There's been rumors about Trent Williams and his contract. I still think it gets figured out. But they still need help on that right side, I think. So I'm going to go with Monroe Freeland and put him on that right side to solidify. And if things that happen a different way with Trent Williams, you could just slide him on the left side. So I'm going to go with Monroe Freeland. And with that, the Houston Texans are on the clock.
Texans, obviously their defense is amazing. I don't think they need help on that defensive side. I think offensively, obviously, did they trade for a running back? What running back did they get?
David Montgomery.
So they traded for David Montgomery. Receiver, they don't really need help. So I would go more like the O-line. Obviously, CJ Stroud was kind of running for his life. So on this situation, I will go with Caden Proctor. Let's go with Caden Proctor.
Okay. And with that, Mice are back on the clock. They picked Ruben Bain, so they can go corner here. They can go wide receivers as well. You got Denzel Boston. You got Casey Concepcion, Chris Bell. I like Casey Concepcion. I'm not really a big Denzel Boston fan. Can go defensive end or defensive lineman. but I think they got a healthy rotation at defensive line. Let's see what they got at safety. Yeah, it's nobody worth taking right here. So I'm gonna go with this is outside the box. I'm going with Casey Concepcion.
Casey?
Mm-hmm. I think he's a playmaker. I think he fits the mold of what Andy Reid likes to do. I think he could work the middle of the field, and if Rasheed Rice is missing games, he can fill in nicely at that spot. So I'm going with Casey Concepcion.
For sure.
Denver Broncos are on the clock.
Denver Broncos. Obviously, I think you would love to get a little bit more help on that passing game with them receivers. Let's see what we got left. Yeah, Denzel Boston, Chris Brazil.
Denzel Boston, Chris Bell, Jeremy Renard. I don't think the only person that's probably worth it is Denzel Boston.
Probably. Linebackers. I don't think there's any linebackers available. You know, I could see them.
They did lose James Franklin Myers in that defensive line, so they could booster that back up.
They could. They did lose. What's my man's name? Linebacker Drake Greenlaw. He ended up going back to the Niners. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go with Jacob Rodriguez, man. I think they reach. I think they fall over, man. I'm gonna go reach. I think they love my man. I think they'll go Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker.
I don't find this kind of crazy. I do think as draft leads up, I do think he's going to get boosted up. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody take a first round pick on Jacob Rodriguez, especially if especially if you have a defensive round that he's not like the piece.
Yeah,
he's part of the piece. Like he's
part of it, and this will be the defense. Yeah, this will be the defense for that. And I think Jacob Rodriguez is. I think talent wise, he's a first round talent. I think he's either going to get picked late first or early second. So that's how I kind of feel.
Yeah, for sure. New England Patriots on the clock. Now, look, the New England Patriots, I know there's been talk about Will Campbell kicking inside, and they can very well pick a Blake Miller, somebody like that to help. Even the Max dude here from Arizona. They can go defensive end and help out that defensive line. But I think they go receiver here. I think they take Denzel Boston, a big body receiver that Drake May can just throw the ball up. He has speed to him too. So I'm going to go Denzel Boston here. And it kind of fits because Boston and New England.
Yeah. No, I feel it.
And the Super Bowl champion, Seattle Seahawks, is on the clock.
I think the Seahawks are going to look at cornerback. I think they lost a lot of key pieces on that back end with their cornerbacks. I'm going to go with Avion Terrell right here for the Seattle Seahawks.
Nice. Alrighty. So yeah, man, this is our first round. We have Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders, Arvell Reese to the Jets, Francis Bongoa to the Cardinals, Jeremiah Love to the Titans, Sonny Styles to the Giants, Carnell Tate to the Browns, David Bailey to the Commanders, Micah Lemon to the Saints, Ruben Bain to the Chiefs, Caleb Downs to the Bengals, Masura Delane to the Dolphins, Jamar McCoy to the Cowboys, Spencer Fanu to the Rams, Jordan Tyson to the Ravens, Dylan Thielemann to the Buccaneers, Keldrick Fault to the Jets, Deion Sadiq to the Lions, and Emmanuel McNeil Warren to the Vikings, Lone to the Panthers, CJ Allen to the Cowboys, Omar Cooper Jr. to the Steelers, Peter Woods to the Chargers, Akeem Mazador to the Eagles, Caleb Lemieux to the Browns, Cassius Howe to the Bears, Caden Don to the Buffalo Bills, Monroe Freeland to the San Francisco 49ers, Caden Proctor to the Houston Texans, Casey Concepcion to the Chiefs, Jacob Rodriguez to the Broncos, Denzel Boston to the New England Patriots, and Avion Terrell to the Seahawks. And I will be posting this on our social media, so I'm sure people are gonna hate us.
We're here to get cussed out. what the hell y'all gave us for? Come on, y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
These niggas is picking a tackle.
All right.
We need wide receivers, nigga.
All right. That's why y'all don't get no
you don't watch. Tell me you don't watch the team. Tell me you don't watch football without telling me.
Nah, facts. That'd be the one.
You cool with KC Concepcion, Mark? I know that might be a little controversial. I ain't heard nobody pick KC Concepcion. I like KC Concepcion.
It's just the way the field played out. I'm sure it might look different in 2.0 version. You know what I'm saying?
So I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you should have got a corner."
Like these pro days. Who's the next pro day?
I think next week is Jordan Tyson's.
Arizona. I wonder when they're doing Indiana. When they're doing Indiana's pro day.
Oh, that's a good question.
Let me try to look it up real quick.
Also, Caleb Banks. Caleb Banks had a foot fracture during the combine.
Yeah, I heard that.
So, or it might have been a broken foot. So, but they said he should be ready by the time what's your name is said. Drew Rosenhaus on the Stephen A. Smith show. Tyreek Hill will be ready for the start of the NFL season. He will wait until closer to them when he's cleared by his doctors to sign with a new team. He wants to play for a contender.
Here, I got a list of all the pro days. So pro day, your Kansas Jayhawks are 3-11.
My who?
Oh, you know.
Don't disrespect me.
Georgia and Penn State, they're 3-18. Michigan is 3-20. LSU, Miami are March 23rd. The 24th, we got Notre Dame. The 25th, we have Arizona, Ohio State, and UNLV. The 26th, we have Florida. 27. April 1st will be Indiana. April 1st will be Indiana. End of the month, 3/31 will be Tennessee. And yeah. So we got those are the dates we have. So
cool. Well, all right, man. You got anything else?
Do I have anything else? Shout out to the World Baseball Classic, man. It's been some exciting games, man.
Royals, baby, all Royal players.
USA, Dominican Republic, man. That was a great game. The Italians face Venezuela tonight. I know there's been a whole conversation about just the atmosphere of the games and comparing it to MLB baseball and stuff like that. Like, look, Major League Baseball need to ante up and get out of their old school feelings and allow these players to have an emotion with these teams, man. I think that's what's missing from baseball. I think baseball could be a great sport to watch. We see it with the World Baseball Classic. I just think Major League Baseball and these so-called, unwritten rules need to change. I think they need to get with the times. I think they need to allow more energy, more excitement, more trash talking in this sport. Baseball ain't a gentleman sport, bro. It's a sport where people are trying to compete. And I love the intensity that I've been seeing from this World Baseball Classic. I hope Major League Baseball takes notes and allows these players and a lot of these certain players that have these unwritten rules and, all uppity about it. I think they need to allow some fun and some energy to it. So I don't know how you feel about it. I know you're more of the baseball guy, but that's just kind of how I feel.
No, for sure. I agree with you, dog. It's a good little thing, man, to booster up the baseball season. Get you ready for baseball season. Yeah. Get you ready for my Royals because we come.
You know how many great atmospheres you could probably have with baseball, with the Cubs, Royals, Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers. You know what I mean? I just think, I think you could create some dope ass fan bases if you allow the energy, if you allow these players to build up on that energy, man. Talk your mess. If you hit a home run, throw that bat 100 yards. I do not care. If you strike out, I saw my man strike out Aaron Judge yelling at his face. I love that shit. That energy is what I love. And I think if baseball can just allow that, man, I think baseball could be back as one of the more prominent sports in our nation, man, for real.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, sir. All right, man. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
Who gets your flowers of the week?
Flowers of the week definitely have to go to Michael B. Jordan and everybody that was involved with Sinners and Oscars and their winning, but preferably Michael B. Jordan, man. It's a special moment. Him being one of the, I think, 6 Black people that won Oscars for that nomination. And then I thought it was dope, seeing videos of him going to In-N-Out and celebrating, ordering his, double and all the excitement that they had, man. So that was dope, man. So shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I love the emotion, love the speech, man. I loved it all, man. So congrats to him, man.
Yeah, for sure. I second that sentiment. Michael B. Jordan, the whole Sinners cast, them recreating the performance of the different cultures in the movie when Sammy was doing the song. I lied. I think it's called "I Lied to You." But yeah, that was a dope little thing. They put it on stage and everything. So shout out to them. Also, to all our wrestling fans out there, you know what today is, Mo?
No.
Happy 316 day, man. Steve.
Oh yeah. Shout out to my man Steve Austin. Man.
Happy 316 day, man. You know what I'm saying? I think he might. I wonder if he's gonna appear on Raw tonight, but
think so?
Stone Cold. Yeah, I think he might come down with the ATV, with some beer and stuff.
But they gotta pay him to do that shit, like $100,000.
Probably gotta pay him a lot. But hey,
is that what he does now? On 316 day, he just comes on his 4-wheeler and runs around the
ATV, drives around. Hopefully, you don't hit nobody like you did wrestling.
Yeah, I saw that shit. Yeah.
But
he might have been drinking a little bit before he did that.
Gets in the ring, asks for some beers, throws middle fingers up to the people, and whatever.
Call it a day.
Shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Where's it at tonight?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It'd be funny if that shit's in Texas. It'll definitely be out there if it's in Texas. Short flight.
Also, shout out to AEW. Great pay-per-view. Long as shit. Y'all got to cut down on some of these matches, man. Like, god damn. It's too many matches, bro. But shout out to AEW. Dope pay-per-view yesterday. But last but not least, my flowers go to the son of Kevin Hart. His son Hendrix got accepted to Tennessee for track. He's going to be a volunteer. And I remember when he was talking about this little boy as a baby. Now he's going to college and he will be running track for Tennessee. So we might see a dude in the Olympics one day. You never know. So shout out to Hendrix Hart, man. Hey, man, who's your hell now?
So my hell nah goes to the FCC chairman and Brendan Carr. Obviously, just another long list of stuff. But I'm gonna read this real quick. He made a little quote because obviously your fearless leader is mad about some of the perception that has been on media outlet. So his good buddy from the FCC quote said, broadcasters that are running hoaxes and news distortions, also known as the fake news, have a chance now to correct course before their license renewals come up. The law is clear. Broadcasters must operate in the public interest, and they will lose their license if they do not. And frankly, changing course is in their own business interest, since trust in legacy media has now fallen to an all-time low of just 9%, and our ratings disasters. The American people have subsidized broadcasters to the tune of billions of dollars by providing free access to the nation's airwaves. It is important to bring trust back into media, which has earned itself the label of fake news. When a political candidate is able to win a landslide election victory after in the face of hoaxes and distortions, there is something very wrong. It means the public has lost faith and confidence in the media, and we cannot allow that to happen. Time for a change. So now he's threatening to take people's media license away if they do not go and bend their knee down to said orange man. So he got to get a hell no. It's kind of limiting free speech. It's heading down to some very interesting. We still got 2 more years of this bullshit, and now they want to limit free speech and allow people to speak what's really happening in this world because my man got short dick syndrome. So it's kind of what it is, man. That's how I feel. So hell no. That's my free speech of the day.
Hell no. My hell no goes to the news team, organization, whatever you want to call it. They put the dumbass story out there that's going around on TikTok right now. I don't know if you heard this, Maul. I don't know how much you frequent TikTok. But there's a story of a man who was on the beach. And he claimed that some dolphins kidnapped him, brought him underwater.
Some what?
Dolphins kidnapped a man on the beach, brought him underwater. Dolphins had a leader. The leader's name was Gerald. This was on the news, man.
What?
The dolphin had a leader named Gerald. Gerald was the reason why he was able to breathe underwater. He's an air boss. Gerald told him, I need you to build us a colonization, like a little colonization down here. So had said man build him a colonization. After he was done, they brought him back to the surface and told him, we'll be back for your ass for phase 2. Now,
this real?
This is on the news, on a
What
regular
news
channel.
channel? What news channel did this?
I forgot what it was, but you can look it up. Just look up Gerald the Dolphin on TikTok.
Gerald the Dolphin.
They even got people doing AIs of Gerald cutting the white dude out and putting him in slavery. but yeah, hell no to this publication for putting this out there. What are we doing here? Now, there was reports that the doctors, that when he went to the hospital, that there was an insurmountable amount of water in his lungs as if he was deep underwater. So do with that information as you will. But
yeah, this is wild, dog. Them AI videos is hilarious.
So, yeah.
They got this man with the helmet on, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, what if it's real though? What if it's real? What if it happened?
You think a dolphin? How'd they get on the beach?
You never know, man. I don't know, man.
They get him off the beach?
Man. There might be some. Hey, look, we haven't even been able to sniff a great percentage of what is underneath this ocean. So
you're right.
Don't know. There might be a possibility, man. It could be some underwater.
Now there was. We all know the Simpsons. They be predicting stuff. There was an episode where a dolphin. On The Simpsons, where a dolphin came out and told them that they were the reasons why they had to go to the water. We were the reasons why they had to go to the water. And they shunned all the people in Springfield to the water.
For real?
Now, his name wasn't Gerald. I forgot his name. His name wasn't Gerald. It was something else. But yeah. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah. Also, hell no, the NASA on Mars, they found big ass cobwebs, man.
For real?
Yes, big ass webs on Mars.
Oh, so they got big ass spiders and shit.
Star Street, what's it called? Starship Trooper type shit over here.
For real? They got video of it?
Yeah, look it up. Mars webs. And they actually got video proof of it, or picture proof of it.
Yeah, they do.
So I just want you to know, NASA, do not bring whatever's on you find from Mars. Don't bring that shit down here.
Oh yeah, they said they got spider-like features. Oh damn, hell no.
Don't go up there and observe and bring whatever that is down here.
Yeah, no, that's screaming alien. Yeah,
don't get curious. I know y'all be wanting to.
Y'all want to move up there? Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping. They want to move up there? Nah, we good. We good. That sounds like some Event Horizon stuff, man. We cool. We cool down here. We're cool. We'll try to the Mother Earth. Like, don't do it, dog. Just chill out, man.
Don't bring that down here. That's all.
Nah, we good. They might too. They they're gonna try to capture. They probably already got something down here.
They do.
They probably already do.
It's an
Area 51 shit. They probably got some creatures in there that we ain't never even seen. That might have been the dolphin. Maybe that dolphin escaped Area 51.
he got loose.
Got loose and shit. Like, nah, I need my old shit down here. Build me my shit, bro. Fuck that. Bring your tools, bro.
Gerald was locked up.
Yeah, Gerald locked up, bro.
He got his boys together.
Facts,
hey,
bro. That
what's your
motherfucker
name,
pulled up.
dog?
Facts. Yeah, man. They probably drove past Home Depot too. Like, yo, my man, come on. Nah, we got some work for you. You got some work for you, dog. Hell no. Shout out to Gerald, though. Shout out to Gerald, man. Shout out to Gerald, man. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. His city probably gonna be fire too. I wonder what he gonna put down there though. That's gonna be the move for the new for the hoes. That's gonna be the move. Like, oh no. You gotta take me down to that underwater city now. Fuck Dubai. Take me to Gerald City. Take me to Gerald City. Take me to Gerald's. Yo, that's the name of the city too, Gerald's.
You got that. I ain't the one.
He probably named all his kid Geraldine, Geraldo.
All right, you get it too deep.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, my bad.
No, man.
I get hell no. I get hell no. I get
man, Maul over here like he planning, he mapping shit out. You better watch out, Gerald. Hear you and be like,
I know Gerald's gonna come pop. He gonna come get my ass. Like, nah, motherfucker, come down here, bro. Let me show you what's up.
Just go here.
Yeah, facts.
At his door.
Knocking on my door right now, late at night too. Yeah. I wonder what he sound like. What he sound like? Do you think he got a black voice, or do you think he talk like white?
Gerald.
It's Gerald, man. Is Gerald a black name? You consider that like a black name?
It's an old black name.
Like an old black name.
Gerald, go get the car.
Yeah, facts. Nah, for real. For real.
All right, y'all. All right, man. You look at if you want to donate to the Cris Style Mal podcast, you can donate to $ Cris Mal podcast. We'll appreciate whatever you donate. Whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, we're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, whatever you use to listen, subscribe. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that like button, that notification button. And you could tap into the live stream on Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays at 9-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Jump in the live with us, talk about these topics. Want to hear from you, get your opinion, agree with us, disagree with us. We want to hear from you, man. Also, whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, whatever you use, man, follow us. We'll follow you back. We're just some regular guys who like to talk sports, music, movies, and all kinds of various other things. If you have a critique or feedback, or if you have a question or a topic, and we like said question or topic, we will bring it up. We will shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead, hit us up via DM, emails, or our mentions. All right, good people. We will see you Wednesday. Sure, we'll get you guys prepped up, ready for March Madness for Thursday. And sure we'll have some NBA topics, maybe even some NFL topics, and we'll have some other things for y'all to do to talk about on Wednesday night. But until then, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Be safe out there, and we are out.
Peace out.